What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Footballers. My name is Tony, and you can follow me down below at LINEMAN Football. Today's video, we're going to be showing you guys what kind of football cleats you should be wearing at your position currently. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into when you're trying to pick a cleat for your position and like where you think you're going to be in the future, and we're going to break all that down in this video. Now, you're going to want to stick around to the end to see if you're actually wearing the wrong kind of cleat for your position. Okay, now the first thing we need to look at is like what kind of position are you and how big are the people at your position. The really simple way to put it is the bigger the guy, the bigger the cleat, right? The smaller the guy, the smaller the cleat. If you're looking at someone like a mid-sized player, like a running back, linebacker, going something with a little bit of like a medium size. Whereas if you are a bigger guy, you're gonna be rocking something bigger like this one here. Now, we have basically 3 different cuts of cleats, and I actually don't have all 3 here today, but I do have at least 2 of them. So you have a low cut cleat, which for the examples today, we're gonna be using this Nike Alpha Menace. Cleats do come a lot lower cut than this, but it's all I have on hand. You have your mid cut cleats, which we're gonna be using here, and you have your high top cleats like these ones here. So to start out, when you're looking at your low cut cleats, right, these are gonna be most common with your smaller guys on the team that are basically running fast, doing a lot of cuts, and they just need to be able to be, you know, break in and out as fast as possible. They're not worried about like support and protection a lot of the time. So those are gonna be your wide receivers, your DBs mostly. Now, cleats like these do have minimal protection. Even some of the newer wide receiver ones are basically entirely made of fabric to have like a really good snug tight fit around your foot and feel like you're almost wearing nothing. They're gonna be built for speed and have minimal protection. Next, you're gonna have your mid-cut cleats. These are gonna have a little bit more protection based on the kind of materials they're made of, like a TPU, you know, fake leather material. It's gonna be a little bit more protective, but still breathable and still have a little bit of flexibility to it. Now, you're doing a little bit of cutting in these, but like not a whole lot. A mid-cut cleat can basically be worn at any position, right? These can be worn from wide receiver, DB, running back, quarterback, linemen even sometimes wear these. So a mid-cut cleat is gonna be really good if you kind of bounce around and play a couple different positions on the team. You're kind of always moving around. This will be a really good kind of standard mid-level option for you. Finally, we're looking at our high top cleats. These are gonna be cleats that weigh a lot more than your other ones, and that's because they have a lot more protection, a lot more stability. You can see the materials they're made of are a lot different here, right? They're supposed to add protection against people stepping on the front of your toes. It's gonna prevent against all that kind of stuff. These are gonna be lineman specific, and their main focuses are stability and protection. Now that you know like kind of the general idea of what kind of cleats you're looking for at your position, there's gonna be a couple things that you need to consider outside of just that. First one we're gonna look at is durability. What kind of materials are the cleats that you're using actually made of? You can see these are 2 completely different materials on these, right? This one is a very hard plastic, almost type material, and this one is a leather. What that basically factors is how much protection it offers, how long it's gonna last over time, and the breathability. Now, just because it is a lineman cleat doesn't mean all lineman cleats lack breathability. In fact, you can see these ones here have breathability ports on the sides. Another really important factor is weight, right? Cleats are weighing as low as like 9 ounces, some of the Adidas ones out right now, right? But these ones here are, I think, 19 ounces when I measure them. Incredibly heavy compared to some of the smaller ones on the market. Now, weight doesn't matter that much. At some positions, like, you know, lineman, you want, you know, a little heavier is fine because of the added protection. But at wide receiver, you don't want something that's 19 ounces weighing your feet down. Okay, the next thing you want to look at is the style of traction plate on the bottom. And the traction plate is just this one piece plate that goes on the bottom that has all the studs that grip into the ground. Now you can see these 2 are completely different, although some of the people would wear these cleats at the exact same position. You can see these ones here are slightly shorter, they're circular in shape. These ones are longer and they're triangular in shape. That really matters when it comes to like what kind of material you're playing on. Now, Adidas and Nike are actually both moving to more triangular shaped studs and away from the circular because these just give you more grip on overall surfaces. However, you still can get away with ones like these on specific ones. Something that's shorter, a little bit more circular, will still work on like a short turf field, a fake one. Whereas if you are playing on like a long natural grass field, you're gonna want something like this that has a little bit more bite to it. Now, along with the overall studs, you actually want to look at the flexibility of a traction plate. You can see this one has a small amount of flexibility, but not a ton, whereas this one has 0 to it. And again, that matters by position. Linemen don't need as much flexibility in the traction plate, whereas receivers need more flexibility as they're kind of sprinting and using their toes. Now, another thing you need to consider is hopefully having the chance to actually try on the cleats before you buy them. And that's gonna be important, one thing, for basically around the toe area. There's a couple things you need to consider. You don't want a cleat with too much room at the front where your foot can like slide back and forth. You don't want too little room where your toes are cramped at the end. And another thing for linemen specifically you need to think about is the width of the cleat. Now, cleats come in all different widths. Normally lineman cleats are a little bit wider, but not all are basically created equal. So I have 3 different cleats here I will show you the differences between. So when you're looking at this plate of the Adidas Nasty, you can see how much wider this one actually gets around this part here. It's to accommodate really wide feet, which is really well done. This is probably gonna be one of the widest cleats you can find. Now, a moderate width wide cleat here is gonna be this Force Savage. You can see it doesn't exaggerate it as much as the other one. It's still decently wide, but not like crazy. And then this one is super narrow for a lineman cleat. This is the Nike Elite TD2s, and these ones are not wide at all. I'm even a size, these are a 13, I wear a 12, and these were too tight on my feet. So if I did go my true to size, they'd be way too tight. So yeah, unfortunately nowadays, because we do buy a lot of stuff online, you can't always try it on. So the best thing you can do is watch as many reviews beforehand as well to get a better idea before you do pick up a pair. So there are a lot of things that you do need to consider when you are looking at cleats. My best advice for you would be to make sure you watch your reviews. We put out reviews for cleats at every single position. We're putting out cleats for receivers, DBs, linemen, linebackers, everything. We're putting out as much as we can on cleats right now. So go ahead and subscribe, and that way you don't miss any of the reviews. Now, comment down below. Are you wearing a cleat that you think is intended for your position, or are you wearing one out of position, but you just really like the way it feels? There you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Footballers. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the like button so we see what kind of content you guys want to see. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Check you next time.